This video contains spoilers. You have been warned.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Reviews by Russ. In today's video, we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian, Season 2, Episode 3, Chapter 11, The Heiress. So the episode starts off, the Razor Crest is limping into Trask. As we know from the previous episodes, the ship's been through a lot. It's heavily damaged. Only the cockpit's pressurized. The bay doors literally open. There's holes in the hull. So she's limping in. They have a very hard time landing, but right when they look like they're going to pull it off, something happens. The Razor Crest ends up in the ocean and sinks. It's a pretty funny little scene, which then cuts to the next scene of this crane, which looks like it's built from an AT-AT, pulling the Razor Crest out of the water and sitting it back on the dock. We'll take a look at that AT-AT now. It's pretty cool. So now that our heroes are safely on the landing pad, we get to see the reunion of the Frog Lady and her husband. So my theory that she was not the mother of these eggs got blown out of the water. Apparently the child did eat some of her children, which is a little disturbing, but hey, he's a kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. So they end up getting their reunion, and he says, okay, she said you knew where some Mandalorians were. So he tells him to go over here to this inn, and he'll introduce him to who he needs to talk to. Mon Cala comes over, they get some food for the child, and he introduces Mando to a Quarren who says that he knows where the Mandalorians are on Trask and he will take him there. It's only a few hours on a boat. So they agree to do this and they head out on this boat. We all thought we were going to Mon Cala from the previews that we had seen, but unfortunately this is not what happened. Even though there are Quarren and Mon Calamarians on this planet, it is a different planet called Trask. So anyway, we're back off with these Quarrens, and they're like, hey, you want to check out this creature? You ever seen one of these eat? And they end up pulling a pretty crazy trick because in pure Mon Cala fashion, it's a trap! As we can see, Mando's in a really tight spot, but then we finally get something we've all been really looking forward to, and Bo-Katan shows up. Yes, we finally get a character from Clone Wars and Rebels fully fleshed out in live action. She looks fantastic. They picked an awesome actress to play the role of Bo-Katan. I was totally pleased. There's no like, I don't feel like that's her. She really fits the part well. We also see Sasha Banks' character finally, which is not Sabine Wren, thank goodness. A lot of us in the community do not want Sasha Banks to be such an important character as Sabine Wren. As many of you may not know, she's just known as not being a very nice person to her fans in the WWE. She's just like really full of herself and just not that great of a human being from what she's done. You know, I hope she can change her ways, but you know, some of these people that work in Hollywood they're just not good people, and from everything I've read about her, she kind of fits in that. So maybe we'll even get to see her taken out. That'd be kind of satisfying for a lot of people, I think. But anyway, she's not Sabine. Sabine has not appeared. Maybe we'll get her later, but we do get Bo-Katan, and we'll check that part out right now.
Take my hand.
So Mando is thanking them for helping him out, and they're talking, and then the moment happens. Bo-Katan and her friends take their helmets off. Din Djarin obviously freaks out, and then we find out why and where this is the way comes from, and all this Mandalorian's a creed, not a race, which made no sense to Star Wars fans in Season 1 as we see this, as we've been to the planet Mandalore many times. We know their culture, we know their history, so everything that was happening in this show with the Mandalorians didn't make a lot of sense until now, and we now find out that Din Djarin is actually part of some religious cult. He wasn't aware, and I don't know if he'll stay with the way now that he knows, or if he will join the other Mandalorians, but we at least get an explanation, which I've really been waiting for, because like I said, this is the way did not fit the canon. Now we understand where it comes from. Turns out they're a religious cult. Interesting spin on it, especially the fact that he doesn't even know that. So that's pretty cool stuff. But anyway, now that we've met, he decides, he's with This Is the Way of the Mandalore, so he takes off. Well, when he gets back to the city, the Quarrens that tried to kill him, well, they've got some family there, and they're not too happy about what's happened to their family members. So we'll check that out real quick. As you can see, they tried to take out Mando. Thankfully, Bo-Katan and her friends show up again, so it doesn't work out too well for the Quarrens, but pretty satisfying for us as the viewers. And then they explain they do know where some Jedi are, because he's telling them that he's got to take the child to the Jedi, and if he will help them steal these weapons from these Imperials, that they will give him the information. There's quite a bit of Imperials in the show so far, so 5 years after Return of the Jedi, it still seems like the Empire's at least got some sectors of the galaxy where they still have a lot of pull and a lot of supplies. So that's kind of interesting that 5 years later they still haven't even really obviously started to really mop anything up. So they go to raid this ship. We get a lot of great action, tons of stormtroopers, lots of battles, lasers, explosions, everything that we love about Star Wars. And it's just, like we all know, this is just so Star Wars. We're all so happy that we're getting this show, and it gives us a lot of hope for these future shows that we hear are coming out. They've announced Boba Fett miniseries, supposedly an Ahsoka show. We know we're getting Bad Batch cartoon. We got a lot of Kenobi. How could I forget about the Kenobi show? We got a lot of stuff coming up soon, and it's really exciting for Star Wars. Glad they're kind of sticking to the TV stuff for now and not doing any movies after what happened with the last trilogy. I think a lot of us want them to let that rest and focus on these shows, which seem to be really good. The Mandalorian being the first live action Star Wars show, and most of us in the fan base are really pleased with it, and we just can't wait to see more. Once they've acquired the weapons, Bo-Katan changes the plan and says they want the ship. Mando's not real happy, but she reminds him, hey, I know where the Jedi are. If you want my help, you got to help me get this ship. So he reluctantly agrees. They take over the ship. It almost crashes. It's pretty interesting. I've spoiled a lot, but we won't spoil everything, so you guys can see it for yourself how that all goes down. But afterwards, she basically drops the big bombshell that we've all been waiting for and tells Mando where to find Ahsoka Tano. So now it is 100% confirmed in the show. We're going to get Ahsoka. I'm really glad they didn't drop her in this episode, because we got Bo-Katan this episode, and that was enough, or should be enough for us. I like it when they space it out, just like the weekly episodes versus the season all at once to binge it and forget it. So it's really cool that they mentioned Ahsoka. We know she's coming. They're going to go find her, but she's not in the episode. So it gives us something to look forward to next week, or who knows, it may take a few weeks for him to find her. But now we know she's coming. Super excited about that. Like I say, we got Bo-Katan here, and she was fantastic. Gives me really high hopes for Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson's a very good actress, so I know she can pull this off. I just can't wait to see how they do it. So anyway, Mando says, he's like, glad he's got the info he needs, and he leaves, and they take the ship. He gets back to the spaceport, and the Mon Cala, he said he couldn't fix it, but he could make it fly, and he really meant that. As Mando gets back in the ship, it's literally held together by nets and strings and ropes. Pretty crazy looking. He kind of mumbles under his breath, Mon Calas. But anyway, the ship does fly. There is a little scene where there's a little crab creature or something that got in the ship, and Mando kills it, and of course the child eats it, because that's what a lot of this season's about, what the child eats, which is pretty much anything that's alive that he can get his hands on. So there is a funny scene earlier in the show, I forgot to mention, where his food kind of gets a little revenge on him. That's pretty funny, so be sure to check it out. As I said, the episode is now live. It is Friday, so a new episode of Mandalorian streaming right now on Disney Plus. If you don't have Disney Plus and you like Star Wars, what are you thinking? Get it. Let's check it out. It's worth it. It's only like $8 a month. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. Also, if you enjoy my videos, please share them on your social media to help me grow my channel. I really appreciate all of you guys that tune in and watch, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.